Introducing the name of the story: Dao Tinh. Author: Chu Ngoc. Genre: romance. Dao Love. Chapter 01. Ding dong, ding dong, the morning clock strikes 9. When the bell rang, the anti-theft glass cabinet made a slight noise, then was slowly removed. A jade hand reached inside and picked up a piece of jade placed on the exhibition counter. A soft voice said, "It has a dragon head, dragon and phoenix patterns. It's definitely a good item. Those things are worth 30 million US. A voice came from the exhibition room door. The girl standing in front of the jade display case smiled without turning around. She used her index and middle fingers to pinch the piece of jade and threw it towards the source of the voice, then slowly turned around. "Treasures of the Western Zhou dynasty, try telling me." The girl standing not far away jumped up to catch it and then stared intently at the piece of jade in her hand. The girl standing in front of the display case wore white clothes of the Etro brand, with a green silk scarf of the same brand around her neck. Her face appeared calm, her eyes sparkling like stars. The gentle smile on her mouth brought a feeling of freshness like a spring breeze. At the same time, her body exudes a natural, elegant, leisurely, spontaneous look, without worrying about anything. Her unique aura makes anyone who sees her easily be attracted to that special look without even looking at her appearance. Gold has a price, jade is priceless. This toy is very valuable, can sell up to 100 million. Unfortunately, in our hands it is only worth 30 million. The girl standing at the door glanced at the piece of Chu dynasty jade and then conveniently put it in her pocket. The girl in the white outfit smiled and shook her index finger, her face showing a serious look. "No, no. It's not worth a penny to meet us. When you meet the right person and pay the sky-high price, it's worth it." The girl standing at the door suddenly laughed loudly. "They are all thieves, they can steal anything they want, no need to spend money to buy it. No matter how valuable the treasure is in their eyes, it is not worth a penny. Because they have never used money to buy them." The girl in white glanced at the pile of treasures displayed in the exhibition and shrugged. "Fortunately, you have professional ethics, so you are safe this time." Her rule is not to touch things that are not on the list, although the owner of the treasures displayed here is not necessarily a good person, and may have stolen them somewhere. This is a famous antique exhibition in New York. The exhibition displays valuable antiques from all over the world. If you calculate the total value of these antiques, you can buy an entire small city in China. The exhibition installs the most advanced protective equipment in the world, with surveillance cameras everywhere. However, those who opened the exhibition forgot that the science and technology they rely on is the weakest point that is most vulnerable to attack. The girl in white is clearly a master in her profession. A minute for normal people might be too short, but for her it was too long, so long that she leisurely cut the glass and took the treasure. "Lai Tam, you only have 10 seconds left." The girl standing at the door raised her hand to look at the map and turned to remind mock Lai Tam. "It's up to Tam, 10 seconds is plenty." The girl named Lai Tam smiled absent-mindedly and leisurely walked towards the door. Two girls dressed in white and red slowly walked out the door, as if walking on the street. Lai Tam turned her head to look at the silent exhibition room, the corner of her mouth curled up slightly. Lai Tam raised her hand and hit the sensor wall in the lobby. A shrill alarm sounded. A few minutes later, countless footsteps thundered toward the exhibition room. Tai Tam frowned and did not speak, as if she was used to Lai Tam's actions. She conveniently raised the knife and slammed it into the back of the guard standing nearby. Lai Tam flipped her hair and smiled. "The distinguished guests are about to leave, the host hasn't even come out to see 'em off, it's so impolite." In just a moment, the most heavily guarded exhibition room in New York became a place where they walked in and out like no one was there. It was now shift change time. The whole building suddenly became noisy, people walking around panicked. Meanwhile, all cameras at the big door, small door, back door, and top of the floor stopped working. No one noticed the two beautiful girls walking out comfortably. They even bragged about having the most advanced equipment. "We won it so easily, it's not good at all." After sitting in the burgundy-colored Ferrari convertible, Tai Tam pulled out the jade piece to look at. Lai Tam placed one hand on the car door and one hand controlled the steering wheel. The cool breeze blew on her hair, making her whole body excited. Is there anything in this world we can't steal? What's the latest? She is a computer expert and a thief expert, plus a martial arts expert named Taitam. There is nothing that can cause them any trouble. In just 1 minute the entire system stopped working. The feeling of being in a deserted place was actually not bad. Taitam laughed loudly. That's right, as long as the two of us match our swords, infiltrating the White House won't be a problem. Laitam heard and smiled. We can do whatever we want. Taitam looked at Laitam's appearance, as calm as if the sky were to fall. It wouldn't affect me. She raised her hand and stuffed the jade piece into Laitam's lap, smiling evilly. Don't be lazy, little girl. Please take responsibility for the final delivery. Later we will, fish swimming in the ocean, birds flying in the sky, referring to freedom. Laitam immediately slowed down. The car had not completely stopped yet. Taitam flew over the side of the car and jumped to the ground. Her curly hair fluttering in the wind, combined with her beautiful appearance, caused many men on the street to whistle in appreciation. Taitam raised her hand. Without turning her head towards Laitam, I will contact you later. Laitam nodded. She stopped the car and stepped outside, shouting loudly, remember to be careful. Taitam waved his hand and disappeared into the crowd. Laitam looked at the figure of her partner who had never left her side for more than 10 years. She suddenly stood leaning against the car door and smiled. From now on, they were completely free. A gust of wind blew Laitam's hair and the thin silk scarf wrapped around her neck. Laitam only felt light on her neck. She turned her head to look at the green scarf fluttering in the air. On the road, a black Cadillac car appeared coming at a very fast speed. The silk scarf suddenly flew into the car door. As the car passed by, Laitam saw a pair of extremely cold eyes looking at her. Laitam shrugged. It's just a scarf, that's all if you lose it. She sat back in the car and started the engine, driving in the opposite direction of the black Cadillac. A few days later, at an ancient castle in Rome, the capital of Italy, there were two middle-aged men sitting in the study. The man in his 40s played with the bullet in his hand. Laitam and Taitam's work has never disappointed me. It's true that my beloved treasure is different. The slightly younger man smiled and nodded. They didn't help us train. They're now ranked 5th in the world, making a lot of money for us. It's not a waste of us raising them. Ha ha, the old man said while laughing loudly. Sir, the man in his 40s heard the call and frowned. What's going on? Don't you know what we're talking about? The person outside spoke in a frightened voice. Miss Laitam sent something. The voice in the room became completely peaceful. Come in. A man in his 40s with a smiling face opened the package and took out a piece of jade. He observed for a while then nodded. Very good. This is the first time we have seen jade from the Western Zhou period. Laitam certainly did not disappoint us. The man standing next to him looked at the jade and smiled. I like little Laitam more and more. She is truly our treasure. I think, in order for this girl to stay with us forever, we should. The older man laughed out loud. You think exactly like me. This treasure is becoming more and more brave. Its wings are becoming harder and harder. $50 million to redeem her body will probably take her less than 2 years to earn. I don't want to break the rope that controls it. Wait for it to return here. We will carry out the plan from before. Evil laughter echoed throughout the study room. A moment later, the man in his 40s discovered that there was still an envelope in the package. He opened the letter and laughed loudly. Little Laitam doesn't know what to do. Also sending letters. What? You fucking bastard. His expression suddenly changed. One hand slammed down on the table, causing several crystal wine glasses to fall to the ground and shatter. The young man held the letter and asked, what happened? In the letter there was only a check for $100 million, with an additional sentence, the check for $100 million is in a Swiss bank. Money from Laitam and depending on Tam redeem themselves at a set price. After this, we will no longer have anything to do with you. The young man's face also became extremely unsightly. You are very good, Laitam. The wings harden and you want to fly, right? There's no such thing as that easy. This place is not where you can come and go if you want. The young man crumpled the check in his hand, turned and pushed the door, shouting, where are you? Please press the button below and press the bell below to continue listening. Thank you for liking my channel.